Welcome back to the answers for the first mini prelim. And now it's time to look at question 5. Question 5 is the last question. And it looks a little like this. It's a 4-mark question and it says, look at lines 20 to 26 and summarise in your own words as far as possible the writer's main points about our attitudes to sleep. Now, as soon as I see that word summarise, I know that this is basically a use your own words question. It's asking me to go back, find the major points in lines 20 to 26 that are linked to attitudes. So that's the kind of the key word in the question. How do we think about, how do we feel about sleep? And then write them in our own words. Okay, so it's the same as a in your own words or use your own words question. And it's a summarize, just it's looking for a list. So there's our question. There's our passage. So what are the main points? Well, let's go through one at a time. In Macbeth, Shakespeare describes sleep as the chief nourisher in life's feast. So I'm going to put that whole sentence there. I can change into my own words. Okay, so they were even talking about sleep when Shakespeare was about. Okay, but I'll say it nicer than that. Yet in modern times we treat sleep as an annoyance, an irritating necessity. That's going to be point number 2. They've fallen nice and neatly onto 2 separate sentences like that. Let's go to the next line. Getting only a few hours sleep is seen as a badge of honor. Okay, so there's my next one. The American president claims to only sleep 4 hours a night. That's another attitude to sleep. And taking a nap is seen as a sign of weakness, something our elderly relatives do. Let's change the colour so it's not getting too confusing so you can see the extra points. I'll go with red. So taking a nap is seen as a sign of weakness, something our elderly relatives do. And then that whole last section with the knowledge we now have about the incredible benefits of sleep, getting an early night, should surely be viewed as heroic, something that makes us happier. So that whole section at the bottom. Okay, particularly focusing on heroic. So I've got 1 point up here, another point here, a 3rd point I can talk about here, a 4th point I can talk about here, a 5th point, the sign of weakness, and a 6th point, that whole end section as well. So it's a 4-mark question, but there are actually 6 main points in the paragraph. So let's go through each one of them. Okay, the first one is, we're looking here at in Macbeth, Shakespeare describes sleep as the chief nourisher in life's feast. The value and importance of sleep has been noted in classic literature. Okay, so Shakespeare's classic literature, you could have said in literature from hundreds of years ago. You could have said in from old English writers of the past. Anything along those lines where you've changed it from that quote is directly from William Shakespeare. So 1 mark there for changing that one. Okay, the second one we were going to look at is the idea, yet in modern times we treat sleep as an annoyance, an irritating necessity. So this is how I've changed it. However, these days we view sleep as a nuisance, that's the difference to annoyance, that we are obliged to do, there's my necessity, and don't value. So I'm hoping here that I've got the essence of that previous sentence. And I've got 2 of the 4 marks, but let's not stop there. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go to this badge of honor quote. Okay, the badge of honor. What does that look like? We think a lack of sleep is a strength or virtue. Okay, so a badge of honor is something, a strength or a virtue. I've changed it into my own language, a badge of honor. Then the next one is about the American president. The American president claims to only sleep 4 hours a night. I would be so tired if that's all I slept. And I've changed that into even world leaders are proud of how little sleep they get. Okay, so we got a president who thinks that a small amount of sleep is absolutely fine. In fact, seem proud of it. So I've changed it into my own words. And at that stage, I've got the 4 marks, but I keep going. I'm not stopping. There's no way, because what if I got one of them wrong? I need to put in some bankers. So we've got this whole idea here of taking a nap is seen as a sign of weakness, something that our elderly relatives do, grandparents, great-grandparents, etc. How do I write that down? Well, a short sleep, there's my nap, a short sleep during the day is associated with old people, so I changed elderly, and considered a fault. It's considered like something quite negative. So again, I've just found it in the passage and then changed it as much as I can in my own words. And the last section, if I can find my red pen, the last section over here is the whole bottom 3 lines. With the knowledge we now have about the incredible benefits of sleep, getting an early night should surely be viewed as a heroic act that makes us happier and healthier humans. How do I change that? We should change our view of sleep because of how it improves our well-being. Okay, so we should change our view of sleep. I might have said to being something amazing and positive, or powerful and positive. I could have expanded it a little bit perhaps, but I've got the main essence of the sentence, and that would also get a mark. So we've put 6 points down. We would hope that at least 4 of those would pick up the marks and get us full marks. And that is the end of the mini prelim. So you've checked the 5 questions, given yourself a mark out of 17. What I would say to you now is, if you've done this early enough in the year, if you've done it, say, before Christmas or even before Easter, you can put this away, forget about it, and try it again closer to the exam in May. You can reuse prelims. We do it often in schools, where we'll use them at the start of the year and then perhaps try them again later in the year for home revision or practice. Hopefully you've found it useful as well. What I would do now is identify, where did I get full marks? So maybe I got full marks in the in your own words question and the summarise question. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good at that at the moment. But perhaps the link question bombed. And I go, I didn't get a link question at all. Perhaps I got my word choice bit of question 1, but the imagery bit of question 1 didn't go so well. Well, then I'm thinking, right, for revision, I'm going to go back and look at the imagery section and the linking section and do some practice questions around those if I can as well. Okay, thanks very much for taking the time to use and try the practice prelim. I hope you found it useful. Take care.